Welcome to our channel. Before we dive into the content, here's a fascinating NBA fact. The first NBA game took place on November 1st, 1946, between the New York Knicks and the Toronto Huskies. The Knicks won 68-66, marking the first official NBA game in history. Now, let's get started with our video. Wilt Chamberlain's impact on basketball strategy. Basketball is a constantly evolving sport, with strategies and tactics evolving over time. One player who had a significant impact on the game and its strategies is Wilt Chamberlain. Chamberlain, standing at an incredible 7 feet 1 inch, was a dominant center during his era. His unique skill set and unparalleled athleticism forced teams to adapt their strategies to deal with his presence on the court. In this video, we will explore the impact of Wilt Chamberlain on basketball strategy. One of the most noticeable impacts of Chamberlain on basketball strategy was the change in defensive tactics. Prior to Chamberlain's arrival, teams relied heavily on the man-to-man defense. Yet, his dominance in the paint forced teams to develop new defensive formations and strategies to counter his scoring ability. Double teaming, which involved sending an additional defender to guard Chamberlain, became a common defensive tactic against him. Teams were willing to sacrifice defensive coverage on other players in order to prevent Chamberlain from scoring easily. Chamberlain's impact on defensive strategy did not stop at double teaming. His ability to block shots and grab rebounds also led to the rise of zone defenses. By playing a zone defense, teams could effectively protect the paint and limit Chamberlain's scoring opportunities. Zone defenses involve players covering specific areas instead of specific opponents, allowing for better help defense against dominant players like Chamberlain. It became clear that individual defenders alone were not enough to stop Chamberlain, and teams had to adapt their defensive strategies accordingly. Another area where Chamberlain impacted basketball strategy was offensive tactics. Chamberlain's physical dominance allowed him to score with ease in the paint, often overpowering opposing centers. His scoring ability forced teams to rethink their defensive formations and come up with new strategies. The hack-a-shack tactic, popularized years later, can trace its roots back to Chamberlain. Faced with a player who could not be stopped with conventional means, teams resorted to intentionally fouling Chamberlain to send him to the free throw line, where he was less proficient. This strategy aimed to limit his scoring impact and force him to earn his points from the free throw line. Chamberlain's scoring prowess also led to the development of new offensive strategies. Teams recognized that relying solely on individual scoring abilities would not be enough to keep up with Chamberlain's dominance. As a result, offenses started emphasizing ball movement and team play. By moving the ball around, teams could create opportunities for open shots and exploit defensive weaknesses. Chamberlain's impact forced teams to evolve from isolation-heavy offenses to more team-oriented styles of play. Furthermore, Chamberlain's presence on the court also influenced the pace of the game. His athleticism and speed for his size allowed him to run the fast break and score in transition. To counter his speed, teams had to adopt a slower, more deliberate style of play, focusing on ball control and limiting turnovers. This change in pace influenced the game for years to come and still remains a factor in modern basketball strategy. In conclusion, Wilt Chamberlain had a lasting impact on basketball strategy. His dominance forced teams to adapt their defensive tactics, introducing double teaming and zone defenses to counter his scoring ability. Offensively, teams had to rely on more team-oriented styles of play, emphasizing ball movement and exploiting defensive weaknesses. Additionally, Chamberlain's speed and athleticism led to a change in the pace of the game, influencing the style of play for years to come. It is safe to say that Wilt Chamberlain revolutionized the game of basketball and left a significant impact on its strategies.